What you're about to see is an episode of the Nerdiest Aftershow, which was our Patreon exclusive show back when we did that a couple years ago. And even though we don't have Patreon anymore, we still think the content is good and want to share it with you for free on YouTube. So I hope you enjoy.
Hello and welcome to the Nerdiest After Show, with a show after the show where nerds talk about nerdy things. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're so excited to be back. Thank you so much to all of our loyal Patreons here that just, keep the show running, and you get this bonus episode just for you. And today, we're back on the Nerdiest Movie Club with Dan in Real Life. This was my pick for the month because Nick had never seen it before, and it really is one of my favorite movies. So we're so excited to jump right into it, but we just want to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for keeping the show afloat. This is an independent production, and just, we do everything ourselves, everything on the back end, and so we're really happy that you guys are here and that you guys continue to support the show, and we really appreciate it. So, Dan in Real Life, starring Steve Carell, released in 2007, which is so interesting because it didn't look like a 2007 movie, but it's on Disney Plus if you want to go watch it if you haven't seen it. Make sure you stick to the end to know what we're talking about next month. Nick has picked out a movie that I have never seen that we'll be talking about next month on the exclusive Nerdiest After Show. So stick around to the end.
My answer.
We always do this.
I had picked one, and then I was thinking of what Blu-rays are on my shelf, because
right,
I don't want to have to rent something.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought of one that I got recently that I was like, oh. Jackson definitely hasn't seen that one. On the off chance that you have...
You'll have a backup.
I have a backup, but I'm going to go with this one as my front runner for now.
Okay.
So
I'm
stick
scared.
around to the end of the episode to find out.
I'm very scared. So, hey, we're here. Dan in Real Life. Now, Nick has never seen this movie. He watched it for the first time yesterday. I think this watch through was my third or fourth watch of this movie. And just a little history from me of Dan in Real Life is I'd never heard of it. I'd heard of it, but I'd never seen it. Didn't really know what it was until I started dating my now fiance, Amy. And she was like, this is one of my favorite movies. And I can't believe you've never seen it. So, sometime early last year, I got the flu really bad. I got flu type B, which is the worst kind of flu. So
flu type B is so good. Why didn't they
I know, right?
Flu type C?
For real, that's what I'm saying. But because of woke, we don't have flu type C.
Them darn wokers.
My gosh.
I'm gonna stop myself right there.
So yeah, I had the flu really bad, and I was just kind of on a movie marathon because I couldn't move because I was so sick. And I was like, you know what? Amy loves this movie. We had just started dating, and I was like, I'm just going to watch it. I'm going to see if I like it, and I'm going to watch it. And I loved it. And I remember texting you because I was super sick, and I texted you and I said, you need to watch Dan in Real Life, because I said, if I ever made a movie, I would want it to be like Dan in Real Life. I remember having this conversation. I said, if I ever made a feature-length film, I would want it to be like Dan in Real Life. Now, I will explain that a little bit later when we get to it. But since then, I've kept watching it. I've continuously listened to the soundtrack through that. Me and Amy have watched it together multiple times. We love the music. We love the movie. And as every time I watch it, I love it more. And so this is a 5-star movie in my book. And I'm really, really curious to see what Nick has to say. So, that being said, Dan in Real Life, we'll break it down here in just a minute, but tell me just general first impressions of this movie.
General thoughts. I might ruffle some feathers here.
That's okay.
I think it was genuinely one of the most frustrating movies I've ever watched. But not for the reason you think.
Okay. I'm very curious because this movie has a lot of moral questions.
It's frustrating, one, because I got to the end of it and I turned it off and I was like, yeah, I'm going to be single forever. It's so over for me. What am I doing with my life? I need to go like hang around a bookstore more often or something. I don't know.
That's where you pick them up. That's where you pick up the smart ones.
I just gonna go pretend. It's so funny. I talked to one of my coworkers. She's a book girl, and she's married. And I like we got on the topic of conversation. I was like, oh, maybe I should go back to college. So like, I don't really need to go back to college. I already have my degree, but
right.
Clearly, that's where people are meeting all of their wives. And she was like, no, what you need to do is like dress up in a nice like button down or whatever, super like casual.
Just look nice, you know.
And go to a bookstore and just hang around the book talk section. And when you see a girl that you think is attractive, you like pick up one of the books and you walk over and you're like, do you know anything about this book? You know? And I was like, bold of you to assume I'm extroverted enough to do that.
Right.
So that's
you
how
also
that's
don't
related.
read.
I don't read. I would never be in that section. I'd only be in the manga section.
Freaking God.
So, ladies, if you're looking for a husband, check the manga section. I'm not saying I'll be there, because by the time you get to me, I might be off the market. I'm just saying, generally speaking, look there. Anyway.
That's where all the single guys are.
Yeah. A lot of single guys in the manga section.
Fascinating.
Because if they're married, they don't got the money to come to the manga section anymore. They buy it online. Anyway. So there was that. But then also, it was frustrating because I felt like Dan was so justified in the way things played out.
Right.
Because, and I noticed this at the end, when they're like kissing in the bowling alley or whatever. Spoilers for the movie. I shouldn't have to say this.
That feels like a no duh, but
when they're kissing in the bowling alley and everyone comes in, she's like, "Dad?
Are you kidding me?"
And Dan Cook walks out and is like, "Hey," and Dan's like, "Hey, you broke up, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, 2 hours ago." And he's like, okay,
yeah, but
you broke up though. And what is so interesting about that is that it's all just this is what was going to happen. This is the consequences of their actions, because nobody wanted to sit down and actually talk to Dan and find out what's wrong with you. They're just like, oh, we're going to sit down. You're bummed. You need to unclog. You need to get back out there. You need to go on a date with Emily Blunt. No, nobody actually wanted to listen to what he had to say. He tried to tell them multiple times, hey, this girl that I met at the bookstore, you guys aren't listening. You don't understand. That's my brother's new girlfriend. And they're like, but she's a hottie, right? Hey, Dan met someone. And I'm like, no. You guys don't get to get mad about this. Because nobody wanted to listen to him when he tried to warn you and have you help him put boundaries in place. This is also your fault because you guys randomly sent him away at the beginning of the movie. Why does his family hate him?
Yeah. See,
why? I'm legitimately asking. Why does his family hate him?
I don't think that they hate him. I think they're just a little dysfunctional, you know? But also,
don't excuse your dysfunction for hatred.
What do you mean by why do they hate him? Like, what have they done?
Legitimately don't like him.
Well, they're like, what do you mean? Like, what actions are you referring to that show that they hate him? They sent him away
to leave at the beginning, like it was the first day or whatever, and his mom was like, all right, you got to get out of here. You got to go. So he goes to the bookstore where he meets the girl. Right. And then after that, or even on the first night, she's like, hey, so-and-so is coming, so you get the special room. And it's just the worst room imaginable in the basement. And I'm like, what? So there's that. There's sending him to the bookstore. And then, like, at dinner, he gets a little passive-aggressive because nobody's listening to him, which is it's not valid to be passive-aggressive. He did definitely overstep. Right? But then his mom is like, no dessert for you. You're going to do the dishes by yourself, and you don't get to have any fun with anyone.
Yeah.
What? But his brother is over here stealing all the lines from his book. And that doesn't get punished?
Well,
No.
they didn't
No.
know that. They didn't know that he was stealing all the lines from that book.
Which means that nobody read his stuff. Because otherwise they would.
I mean, yeah, but he wasn't saying the lines in front of his family, though. He was just saying it to the girl.
No, like he said it at the table, though.
Yeah, but like...
Because that was the callback when she came in the room and was like, I can't do this anymore. Because all of your brother's lines are like from your book.
Yours. Well, that's the other thing is, was he ever published? Was that part of the thing? I'm pretty sure it was part of the thing.
I think
I'm pretty sure, and I may be wrong.
Published, but he wasn't syndicated in the newspaper.
He wasn't, right. So he was published, but also think about in the way that, like, that would be like if someone took a line from a YouTube video that you've made. But like if someone quoted a line from a YouTube video that you made to me, I don't know every single line from all of your YouTube videos. Like I wouldn't be able to point that back to you necessarily. So I don't know. I think like Dan in this movie is just kind of like a sad Muppet character, and that's the whole point. Is he's like just kind of down on his luck, and he's like trying his best, and like his family is obviously concerned for him. Like I love the scene where like he's walking on the beach with his dad, and his dad's like, I know you said you won the lottery with your last wife, but like it's been a couple of years. And he's just like, I don't want to talk about this. He's like, can we just not talk about this? And I think his family is it. I really like his family dynamic because to me it's very realistic in the sense of they're like, let us help you. We want to help you. And they're so like, I guess they're so like connected and so concerned and so like almost overbearing in that way that they can't even like stop to listen to what he has to say.
Right.
And they're like, oh, let me help you. Let me do that. Let me do this for you. Let me help you that. Let me give you this advice, this and that. But they can't like slow down to really hear what he has to say. And that's part of the reason I love this movie is because it's a very realistic family dynamic in that way.
Yeah. No,
So,
I would agree. I think I got behind
but
Dan
it's hard to watch
really quick.
Yeah.
Because I can relate to that almost feeling of like being isolated from your family. Like you're part of the family, but you don't feel like part of the family.
Right.
And like I can understand that and relate to that in a certain way. So I think that's why I got behind it and was very easily to antagonize the rest of
Everyone
the family.
else.
But aside from the family.
But you also have to think about like look at how everyone else in his family, like their lives have kind of like worked out where like he's kind of struggling because he had everything together. Like he lost his wife and now he's trying to figure out his 3 kids as they get older.
Right.
But like his siblings have their kids and they're doing great, this and that. And his brother's always been kind of a screw up, but he has this new girlfriend. So now his brother's new girlfriend is the head of the attention. And so he's just not getting the care that he needs from his family. And that's part of the point.
I did really like his I liked the overarching narrative with the whole like you're not in love. Which not that I'm a parent or that I'm one to step into the parental role. I feel like he was asking the wrong question. Like instead of telling your kid no you're not in love, make them think it out. Yeah. Like make them use the logical side of their brain where she's like, I love him. You just have to say why?
Why? Yeah.
Why? What makes you in love?
What makes you say that?
Why?
You know?
And then they have to use the logical side of their brain or the purely emotion driven. Look, because I do. And it's like, okay,
well that's not a good enough reason.
That's not a good enough reason. I need you to like break it down. Give me a couple points here. Like you've only known this guy 3 days. I did like how it came full circle though of like
because he knew her 3 days.
Yeah.
And like fell in love, which is so like it like all the pieces fall into place so perfectly.
I feel like it's
And I love
different if
that.
you're an adult, though. Like,
Oh,
he had
absolutely.
been previously married. He knew exactly what he was looking for. Like, he understood that.
Right.
This girl's like, what, in high school?
She was
Freshman?
like 17.
She's like 14?
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
don't
because it was
know-
his middle daughter.
You don't
Yeah.
know what you want at 14, 15?
My favorite line in this whole movie is when she's like, Dad, she said, when it comes to sex, he's the one that wants to wait. And he says, what part of that sentence should bring me comfort?
I was like, that's
I
good.
was like, that is so funny. What a
That was-
dad moment.
His oldest daughter is like, I just want to drive. And he's
I
like,
just want to drive,
no.
bro. Which also comes full circle because he
Gets
loses his license.
revoked. I didn't understand
good.
why right away. I had to think about it for a minute.
Yeah,
And then I was like, oh, it's because he got 3 offenses in like
right.
X amount of time.
Yeah.
Which, what are the
So-
odds that that cop was behind him?
Rhode Island
What
can't
are
be
the
that
odds?
big.
Like, but also, I thought speeding tickets and like an accident was a different offense.
You know,
Like, I thought those were 2 different categories. Like, it's not the 3 strikes you're out. I didn't know you were
Yeah.
behind. You were behind. You weren't looking where you were going when I was backing up. I would have
maybe-
argued with the cop.
I'm testifying in court.
I would have gone to court and been like, you weren't paying
would've-
attention.
Yeah.
Officer, I was in an emotional state. Which then I guess
I
they
was
would
in
flip it on me and be
hysteria.
like, well, you shouldn't have been
Right.
behind the wheel of a car. And you're like, well,
Right. You're like, all right, you got me there,
You're right.
copper.
he also totally could have just
Yeah.
ripped forward.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
maybe not, because I think his daughter was in front of the car and he didn't want to hit her. But he
Yeah.
could have just
So, but that's
ripped
the
forward.
other thing. Like this movie is so grounded that it's so just like there's not going to be a high speed chase. There's not going to be like a cop drama scene. There's just he's going to be like, oh my gosh, I backed into a cop. Like, wow, what you gonna do? Like that's the kind of movie this is.
yeah.
So I don't know. I really, really love that I just think the family dynamic is so well done because all of his flaws are the same flaws that his family has, you know?
Yeah.
So like he's like telling his daughter, he's like, you're not in love. Like you don't know what that means. You don't know what it is. And he's not like budging to stop and listen to her. And then that's exactly what his family does to him because he's in the same situation. And I picked it up on this watch through when he was just like, who told you to say that? He's like, who told you to say that? And he was very much like, wouldn't believe that kids could think like smartly for themselves,
Like,
you
what?
know?
Kids have brains?
He's like, what the frick? And
Since
he's just
when?
like, he's like, he's like, who told you to say that? And she's like, I made it up. And he's like, no, who told you to say that? And she's like, I can think that. And then he does it to the boy too. So he's like, who told you that? And he's like, I made that up myself, sir. And then he ends up stealing that guy's line, which is so funny because that's what his brother did to him. And I'm just like, this is such a, like, it all just stitches together so well.
Her web connects them all.
And I love that. Her web connects them all. So tell me how you feel about kind of like the affair aspect of this story and like what was that for you?
Okay.
'Cause
Morally
that's kind of the
speaking,
baseline.
morally speaking, I have an issue with it. Because it would be like, I don't have a brother, so
Right.
it would be like if we were hanging out
Mm-hmm.
and I tried to steal Amy from you and you were like, well, you're not engaged, so it's all fair. Morally,
Right.
I don't think that's
No,
right. There's like
absolutely
the
not.
underlying bro code of like, even after they broke up, like,
For 2 hours.
I don't know. That's still iffy. And like, if you
Mhm.
want to go that route, you should talk to them about it after the fact of be like, hey,
Right.
it's been a hot minute. Like,
Right.
would you be okay with that? I don't want to like hurt our relationship, yada, yada, yada. There's all that. Obviously, we didn't have the runtime for that.
Right. Of
Now-
course.
In the universe of the movie, my morals aside, it was passable because the brother said to do it.
Right.
But only because the brother didn't know who it was. But that goes back to them not listening to him.
Right.
And not, like, trying to actually figure out who this girl is.
Right.
So it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. And then he really played it off well when he met her at the house for the first time and was like, oh, I don't know you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Dan.
Hi.
Like, so the way he played it off was pretty good. But I don't know.
It's a gray area. It's like kind of hard to, because, and it's really hard because she shouldn't have been talking to this random guy in the bookstore in the first place.
Right. 'Cause like,
so that's like she initiated.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing.
Okay.
Everyone's a little bit in the wrong. If you want to back it up to who started it, right? Mm-hmm. Technically, she did, because you're right. She shouldn't have been talking to him in the bookstore knowing that she was in a relationship with his brother. Now, she didn't know it was his brother. She was just in a relationship, right?
Right.
But give her the benefit of the doubt of like, oh, this guy's just a nice guy. Like, I'm going to hang out with him. Like, he wants to chat.
Right.
Sure. Then when they go out to the car and she's like, okay, well, I have to go. Like, I'm going to meet this guy and his family and like, yada, yada, yada. And he insists of like, hey, you should give me your number. Like, I'll call you. I'll call you to say I'm not going to call you.
Which was Riz.
Which is
like,
absolutely something I would
Riz
say.
101. And then I love that he got back in the car and he was like, I'm going to call you to tell you I'm not going to call?
That was something I would do.
Good.
I'm like, dude, this is so... He's just like me. Wow.
Just like me for real.
So... I don't know. It's like this interesting gray area of she was in the wrong for giving out her number to another guy knowing she was in the relationship. But at the same time, it also doesn't sound like they were together that long.
Or that happily.
But. Once you get in a relationship, you're off the market until you end the relationship. Like,
right.
So it's not like you should be giving out. Like, I wouldn't. Like, you should have a certain level of trust with your partner, even if you're not married. Of like,
right.
Well, you can go out to the bookstore and you're not going to go on a pseudo date with a guy because we're dating. Like, I don't have to follow you everywhere. Right. I trust that you're not going to do that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, like you said, it's a gray area because everyone's a little in the wrong, but you wouldn't have a plot for the movie if...
Because it takes
this
two to tango.
Right.
Like, she's not... Like, she was in the wrong for initiating, but he didn't shut it down. But he also didn't know she had a boyfriend until after.
Yeah,
but even after he knew... Did he knew she had a boyfriend?
Well, he knew after, like, when they were going out to the car.
Right. But, like, when they were, like, talking before, he didn't know she had a boyfriend. And he, like, poured out his soul about his wife to her.
Right.
And all this stuff. But after he knew, he asked for her number. And it's kind of like, oh, that's not cool. But then it's like, well, she wasn't really in love with his brother because she was in love with the faux version of his brother that was him putting on all of Dan's best lines.
Right.
So she was like, you could justify and be like, well, she was technically like in love with Mitch trying to be Dan. And so but at the end of the day, like, they all were wrong. Like, his brother was in the wrong for, like, being essentially just being a doofus. And because he, like, immediately moves on and goes after Emily Blunt.
Yep.
And I'm really glad they did that because it makes you just like, oh,
I'm not upset about this anymore.
No, his brother's kind of a D-bag. Like, Dan should go after this girl because they obviously love each other very deeply. Like, go for it, buddy. Like, so I don't know. I also really love this movie because there's very few movies where I see situations like this where there is genuine restraint from the male characters. Where
Right.
Dan in this movie was very much like, hey, this is really hard for me and we need some boundaries because I can't like mess this up for my brother, for my family, this is bad. And I just really appreciate that from him because it's so rare.
Yeah, because usually the guys are the ones who are like, well, it's okay. Like, no one's going to find out.
Right.
Like,
Right. So
I think it's different for him, too, because he has a lot more stake with his daughters. Like, it's not just your
Right.
typical rom-com where the guy is the flop who doesn't have any kids and,
Right.
like, has no... not saying you have no stake in your family if you don't have kids, but, like,
right.
usually that's how it's perceived, is, like, no kids and the rest of your family does, well, you have less stake in the family than the one who does. But he has this stake of these 3 daughters who's like, okay, well, I can't mess this up for them because they still have, like, they need to be connected and invested in this family, even if I'm not. Even if I'm,
Right.
like, hanging out here downstairs by myself, like, or I'm going to go hang out at this bookstore, as long as they're having fun and they're enjoying their time here, then it's okay. And like I can make peace with that. I did like that he tried to put up boundaries. I think that was a good thing to could have done a little better.
Could have done a little more, but that's also like so hard because his family, like his family was just constantly throwing him in these terrible situations because they wouldn't listen to him, and he was like kind of too scared to say. So now he's on this double date with this girl, and just Emily Blunt is so funny in this movie. She is like, I don't know why she's there, but she's so funny.
Yeah,
And
I thought it was Katy Perry. I'll be real. Like, I just saw the face, and I was like, why does she look familiar? And the first person I could place it to was Katy Perry. And then
Yeah.
I looked in the cast, and I was like, wait,
Wait,
not right.
that's John Krasinski's wife.
Wrong.
I love what's her name?
I love that Holly
they-
was in this movie.
Yes,
From
the
The
great
Office. That was so funny.
the great Steve Carell, Amy Ryan. Also, did you notice that one of the lesbian lady that from Friends was in this movie? One of the girl that Ross's wife left him for was in this movie. But she's one of like his I think
What?
she's one of his sisters.
What?
Yeah, Susan from Friends is in this movie. But she's
Susan?
only in like 2 scenes because she's one of the like off like the side like brothers' wives. And so she really only has like one line,
Oh,
which is so funny.
I know who she is.
There-
Why?
There's a really great cast.
Why do
of
I
this
not
movie.
remember her, like, at all?
From Friends or from the movie?
No, from the movie, from Friends.
She's Carol's wife. That's who she left Ross for.
Oh, that's right, because Ross was married at
Yeah.
the beginning of the thing. Because
Yeah.
Ross was married
Yeah,
and
he's
got
married to
divorced.
Carol.
And then Rachel ran out on her wedding.
Yes.
Still a
And
terrible
then-
pairing, by the way.
Right. And then Carol
was the
Carol-
lesbian that she left him for, which was so progressive for a 90s
Right.
TV show.
Right.
By the way.
Yeah.
Like, that was a little wild.
That's a little something. We can have gay I was going to say we can have gay people, but heaven forbid a black person joins this cast.
I mean, that's really how it was. They were like, people of color? No.
No.
The homosexuals,
Then
though.
Then again,
That's allowed.
if you go back and watch Friends, like them being gay is like the butt of every joke.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
it's
I'm
kind
not
of like
saying that was right either.
6
But
of one, half a dozen of the other, baby steps.
we had to work our way
But-
through it. It was in the 90s. Like,
It's the 90s.
Blah.
So, yeah, great movie. One of my favorite goofs from this movie is that they all have New Jersey license plates. But in New Jersey, you're technically not allowed to pump your own gas. And like he pumps his own gas in this movie because that's the joke. Is he's like, oh, there goes your college fund.
Were they still in
there
Jersey
goes the other
though?
one.
Like, could you have legitimately argued that they were outside of New Jersey?
You could argue that, yes.
Wait, let's go back. You're not allowed to pump your own gas in New Jersey?
No. So Gavin, friend of the show, from New Jersey, right?
Somebody comes out and does it for
college. Yes. The first time he pumped his own gas was when he was here, and I had to teach him how to do it because because in New Jersey, it's still like a job to be like a pet boy. And they come out and they pump your gas, and it's like just one of their jobs, and they'll like do your windshield and all this stuff. And it's like not only for safety, but it's for the economy because they can provide those jobs for people. So in New Jersey, you don't pump your own gas, which is so funny because like in the South here, you pump your own daggone gas. I'm not letting no Democrat come pump my own gas for my Ford F-150.
They're not gonna top me off like I want them to. I want him to top that off. That's how my mom taught me how to pump gas. Was she was like, you can let it autofill, and then when it clicks off, get it as close to the like round up to the dollar as close as you can.
Yeah.
Because, like, I have keep the change on my debit card, so it rounds up anyway. So I'm like, well, if I'm paying it, I might as well,
take the gas.
Get all the way up there.
I
could never trust anyone to pump my gas. I have too many trust issues to, like...
Yeah. I don't know. I also just, like, don't care. Like, I'll pump my own freaking gas. Like, it's not... It takes like 2 minutes to pump gas. Like, it's not that hard.
Have you ever gone to a gas station where you have to flip the little black thing down to get it to turn on?
No.
Okay, so I was actually filling up gas in your city.
What?
Yeah. We had come to pick up Megan that one time because that's where we met. But we needed to refill my car before we picked her up. And I didn't know where the gas stations was because I had never been there before.
Right.
Because this was before I started coming like every 3 months or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm standing there. My mom was in the car, and I'm trying to fill it up. I'm like, Mom, it's not kicking on. And she like leans over and she's like, oh, you got to take that black thing and flip it up so that the
thing like goes.
The stand knows that you're ready to pump gas and it's in the car. And I'm so used to the ones where you pull it out and it has like the sensor that auto knows that you've taken the little handle out.
Yeah.
And then you put it back in and you give it a second. It's like, okay, there's the nozzle. Here's your receipt. And
that's
so there
so
are
weird.
And I was like, wow, I didn't know that. I would have been fumbling here for 10 minutes if you weren't here. And she was like, yeah, that's how you used to have to pump gas. There were no sensors. Like you flip the little thing down and it turns on.
Oh my gosh.
Or I think you flip it up and then you flip it back down to lock it when you're ready to put it back in so it doesn't pump any more gas.
That's so weird.
So it was just really interesting. I was like, huh.
I've never seen that before. See, my favorite gas pumping story is one time my car was like running on fumes, like just rolling into the gas station like in neutral, like just not like just like so low on gas. Gas light is on, like all this stuff. And I pull up to the pump and it says like no card, see cashier. And I was like, okay. And I put it in drive and I went back on the road and drove a few miles to the next gas station because I was more willing to risk running out of gas in the middle of the road than going inside and asking for money on a pump. And I was like,
that's so fair.
The length that I will go to not interact with somebody is way longer than you would think.
I respect that. I understand that. I can't be too mad.
So, yeah. So, anyway, here we are at Dan in real life, coming to a close. Just generally, like, star rating, Where are you at? Like, give me like a condensed, like, letterboxed version of this review.
I think I'd give it a solid 4.
Okay.
I don't
like
know if I
that.
liked it enough to like give it a full 5.
Right.
Because that full 5 is coveted. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I do feel like it was a really good, enjoyable movie. I did like at the end how they didn't just end on the like fade to black when she's at the gym. They actually showed, even if it was like as the credits roll, you get to see, okay, they did get married, and like it's not that open ended. So I did appreciate that.
It was still a happy ending.
Right. So, and even how like it was very Despicable Me vibes, which is so funny. Because if I had a nickel for every time Steve Carell was in a movie where he previously had 3 daughters and then got married over the course of that movie and his daughters helped him do it, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
That's so true. I never thought about that.
Wait, was it? Hold on. When did Despicable Me 2 come out?
Definitely way after 2007.
2013.
I saw the movie in theaters.
Within 10 years, bro.
We got 2.
The same movie within 10 years.
Illumination saw this movie and said, hold on.
That's crazy. They're like,
Let
hey,
him
we already
cook.
got Steve Carell and the 3 daughters.
On. We could do this, guys. Hold on.
So, yeah, it was very like the wife gets to come in.
It's
Like she's
actually really
dancing
good.
with him and the daughters.
Yeah.
And like, oh, that's great. Aw, how
That's
nice.
so funny. I never realized that.
So, there you go. Now you have a
That's
fun
good.
little new tidbit.
Good 4 star. I'm glad that you enjoyed this movie. I was really like scared. Sometimes if you guys know, you've listened to the after show, you know that sometimes we'll be like, yes, 5 stars, and then the other person's like 3. And it's just kind of hard to hear. So I'm glad that you enjoyed it. And I think going back to what I said earlier about if I ever made a feature-length movie, I want it to be like Dan in Real Life. I think Dan in Real Life is a perfect chamber film with an ensemble cast. Now, what that means is chamber film takes place in like 1 to 3 locations. And so like it's like, okay, you have his house and like their school at the beginning or whatever, but like 90% of this movie is in their family vacation cabin.
Right.
And it's all there and it's condensed and it's just humans. Like, it's just a very human story, and it's very calm and grounded, and it's really, the music is really sweet and it's really good, and it's just a good story about humans and family. And I'm like, that's all you need. That's all you need. Like, we've gotten to a point where all these movies have to have like huge budget, like VFX superhero teams, and it's like, I just want to see some humans that have a good story, you know? And I think that's exactly what this movie is. And something that I have not touched on in this episode that I'd like your opinion on.
Okay.
So this family vacation, essentially it's them getting together at this cabin on the lake, and I didn't realize until this watch through how many activities that they scheduled to do all together. And I can't decide if this would be the ideal vacation or the worst vacation ever. It's so funny because they get there and they're immediately like competing in crosswords, and they do a talent show, and they have like a group exercise session, and they're all like making breakfast together and this, and I'm like, that's super great, super sweet. No, I don't need every little activity like every evening. I really just want to watch a movie.
It felt like a church camp retreat where you're like, we have all these activities, but then there's the one person who shows up like for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then outside of that does
You
their
don't see
own
them.
thing, and you don't see them. Because I was that person of like,
That's so
when we used to do
true.
choir retreats, it was me and my like close group of 4 people, and we would never do any of the scheduled activity. We'd be like,
No.
okay, we're here, we've done our rehearsal, okay, we're leaving, goodbye.
Bye.
We're gonna go stand out on the dock and talk deep about life in the
so
freezing
funny.
cold. But
so funny.
no, that's too many activities for me. I could never.
Yeah.
I'm
there
like,
was
no.
There was a lot of activities, and I was like, all right, family football game, family crossword race, family exercise session. I think they go canoeing at one point.
There is something about this movie that showed me an ideal American life that I know I'll never have.
Amen.
Of like, brother, I want to be the dad with the kids who's got the house and the car, and you go on the family
lake
vacation,
house, you know,
and everything's fine. This is a post 9/11 world, but still, I don't know,
because
man.
of woke, we can't have the family
because
lake
of
house.
woke, we can't afford anything, which is true, actually, if you really think about it.
That's
but
good.
It was like, I was like, dang.
Dang.
Watching movies like this is sad now, because it's like,
I can never afford this.
have we?
It's like,
has America reached its peak? Is it over?
Are
for
we
us?
too far gone from 2007 to not have a family lake house anymore, guys? Drop a comment down below. What do you think of the state of this country?
Has America reached its peak? That's the poll.
When did America peak? Fascinating. leave
Peaked
your
in 1776. It's been downhill since then.
1776.
Which is funny because
All right.
America wasn't even established in. Wait, yes, it was. Don't
What?
answer
Well,
that.
do you have anything else to add about this movie, or are we ready to reveal our next pick?
No, we're ready to reveal our next pick.
I think that was a fun little review.
Topical.
Highly
given
recommend.
how we ended.
Highly recommend. Oh, shoot.
I didn't realize. So I picked this movie in my head because I was like, oh, I have the Blu-ray and I kind of want to watch it again. And then I read the first sentence of the synopsis on Letterboxd, and I was like, oh, this is actually happening right now.
Okay.
Like, this is
scared.
really happening in the world right now. So it's topical. So maybe we'll
Okay.
get more people to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I gave this movie 4.5 stars.
Okay.
And fun fact, I rented it from the library when I was in college, and the DVD was super scratched. So I took out the DVD because I got halfway through the movie and it started skipping every 2 seconds. So I took out the DVD, chucked that sucker on the couch, and I rented it on Amazon Prime, only to find out when I finished the movie that it was available for free on Netflix the whole time.
Nice.
So I spent $5 that I didn't have in college to watch this movie, only to find out that I could have gotten it for free. So.
And still gave 4.5 stars.
And still gave it 4.5 stars because I thought it was good. I really hope you haven't seen this movie.
Okay.
Because I just gassed it up a little bit.
Okay.
And if you say you've seen it, well, that's going to kill all my momentum. But
okay.
The next movie I'm going to pick is topical given the time of year we're in and also what's going on internationally. Which, if you don't know, I'll explain it to you after. Have you ever seen the movie V for Vendetta?
No, I have not seen this movie.
All right, that's my
our
pick.
next pick
Is V for Vendetta.
Okay.
It's so good. It's one of those that's you watch it and it's like, oh, that's scarily accurate.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Hold on.
And I thought this movie was scarily accurate 2 years ago.
From 2005.
Yeah.
Okay.
Natalie Portman, and I don't know what the guy's name is.
Hugo Weaving.
Yeah.
Okay. In a world in which Great Britain becomes a fascist state, a masked vigilante known only as V conducts guerrilla warfare against the oppressive British government. When V rescues a young woman from the secret police, he finds her in an alley with whom he can continue. Frick, I am so homeschooled. Holy crap. When V rescues a young woman from the secret police, he finds in her an ally in whom he can continue his fight to free the people of Britain. Daggum.
The tagline that I've seen a lot of people post recently is people should not be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of their people.
Wow.
Which is so valid. Which is so true.
V for Vendetta.
This is also where,
I'm
that
excited.
anonymous mask, I'm pretty sure this is where that comes from.
Okay, interesting.
Because that's like the whole like the white mask with the mustache,
with the mustache
and
and
the
the yeah.
Like this is where it
Okay.
comes from because it's a very anti-establishment type
Mm-hmm.
movie. I think you'll like it. It's good.
Okay, I can do anti-establishment. I'm a fan.
I
2006.
sure hope so.
2006. Okay. I'm in. I'll have to rent it, but TBH, it's probably in my
W.
library. It's probably in my library. So
I think it might still be on Netflix. Which, if it is, you can just steal my
Watch said
Netflix
that
again.
Just Watch said that it wasn't, but Just Watch isn't accurate. Like 90%
Just Watch
of
is the
time.
reason why I didn't.
Find it.
V for Vendetta is no longer on.
Let me look at the library. Hey guys, this is just a little back end stuff, you know. This is just a little.
I wish
some
you
inside baseball
lived here so I could just give you
Yeah.
the DVD.
Alas, V for how do you spell Vendetta?
VEN.
DE. Oh, I
Detta.
got it. Detta.
Detta. Big cheddar. Yay, I get to add this to the
Biggie
list of
cheese.
Aftershow movies.
Yippee! All right, good work. All right, we're gonna. Hey guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Nerdiest After Show. We really appreciate you so much for your patronage and for your support of the show. We really appreciate it. We love you guys. We want to keep making high quality content for you, and you guys supporting the show just gives us a little boost to help us continue doing that. So thank you so much. Tune in next month for V for Vendetta. Now, very, very exciting stuff. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Mr. Nick, as always, for joining us today. Now, we will see you next month on the Nerdiest After Show or sooner on the main show. And we really appreciate you guys. We'll see you soon. Until then, bye.